Oh, let me tell you something. Busting makes me feel good.
Hey everybody, welcome to Blockbusting, the podcast where we love to hate the movies. I'm your host, Jay Light. Joining me today, Nikki Bond.
I didn't know. I saw it, but I didn't know that we're like, hey.
Hey, well, that's the thing. It's just there. That's just
It's
there.
there.
It's there
Something funny happens.
in case, but we're here for this because look, if we're like playing to the camera the whole time, then what's the point? Because then we're not really having we're not really in it.
I was just at a commercial audition, so I was like very used to the camera.
Oh yeah,
you know.
You're ready to slate before you come on.
yeah. Hi, I'm Nikki Bond. Here are my hands.
Let's get profiles. Are you willing to? Shave?
You know how many times I want to be like, I'm willing to shave. I'm like, I'm sure people do that, and it must be so annoying.
I was growing out. I was doing. I don't remember if you saw me. You probably did when I was trying to grow a beard for a little bit.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I had that, and then I'd come back from being on the road, and that's why I had that terrible beard because I was like, why not?
Look what I can do.
And I came back, and do is a very loose. It's a very loose definition of do. I was not doing that beard.
Look what I can attempt.
And then I came back from that, and I was auditioning, and anytime they'd be like, are you willing to shave? And I'd be like, yes, God, please make me shave this terrible thing off my face that I'm just trying to prove. I don't know who I was trying to prove anything
They're
to.
like, why haven't you yet? Then if you can shave, why haven't you done it?
What is stopping you, Jay?
You're like, my dignity. I'm trying to be a man.
This is a real
working.
weird audition. I don't know. I didn't think you guys are going to probe me so much. Get to the depths of my psyche.
Yeah.
This is for Cheez-Its. What's going on here? Thanks for coming in today.
Thanks for having me.
I'm very, it was a hard time for you to pick a movie because you kept picking things that other people had picked.
I know. That was really, do people always do that, or am I just like...
No, people do that.
Yeah,
I
people do that.
I wound up not having to because you sent over a list of things that you were going to watch to find out if you liked them or not. But usually if you go through like 2 or 3 guesses at a movie, and some people have done it already, I'll just send you the catalog of everything that people have done. Because I keep a list, I keep a running list for easy reference in case stuff like that happens, because it happens.
Yeah, that's a lot.
100-something episodes deep at this point, so there's a fair amount of crossover that could happen.
Yeah, and I think I was also like, man, I don't watch that many movies anymore.
No?
I don't think so.
Are you not really a movie watcher?
Big movie watcher, but I just like... I feel like I don't have time. I always watch stuff like when I come home. I think I just watch more movies when I was in my 20s and like would be hungover and just, I'm still hungover, but like instead I just cry and like back in the day.
Yeah. Have you made any decisions to watch hungover movies that you regret?
You know what I started to watch that I hated too, that I regret because it was Glass.
You watched Glass hungover?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a bad movie to watch because that's not a good movie to begin with.
Just not Requiem for a Dream. Don't watch that hungover.
Nope.
Don't watch that hungover.
I watched Grizzly Man hungover when I was in college. Bad idea. You know about Grizzly Man?
No, what's Grizzly Man?
Grizzly Man is a movie. It's a good movie, but it's a documentary about this guy who would go to Alaska and live with the bears and try and be like the Jane Goodall for bears. This guy, Timothy Treadwell. And the movie is about him getting mauled to death by the bears. Because there's audio. They don't have the video of it because I guess the family or something, they're trying to be sensitive. But they have the audio of he and his, I think it was his wife or his girlfriend, they got attacked and mauled to death by bears. Whoa. And the audio of it is horrifying.
What's the audio?
And it's just like them like screaming and bears like ripping them apart. And so I was just on my couch because I'd gotten it. This is when I still had Netflix for DVDs instead of for streaming, and I got that, and I was like, all right, I'll watch this because that's what I would usually do, just like pop in a DVD on a Friday or Saturday morning. And then I had that come on, and I was like, oh, this is a mistake. But I was so just glued to the couch in my hangover. I was like, I can't get up and stop this.
Oh my God. But the twisted part of me is I'm like, well, I just want to hear the audio.
It's a good movie. You should check it
God,
out.
I'm going to watch it.
Yeah. You know what you shouldn't watch, though, folks at home, that Nikki and I subjected ourselves to?
Yeah.
The movie you came in to talk about today, Wine Country.
Wine Country. Why?
Woof.
Yeah, the worst.
What?
Awful.
It was pretty. It was rough.
You would expect more from these people.
You really would.
Yes.
It's got such a pedigree. It's got if you haven't checked it out
Which
yet.
is always kind of a warning sometimes when there's that many stars. You're like, okay, you guys are going to be really
Right.
lazy about it. Like, this is going to be a lazy, you know what I mean? I can't think of a movie that had good,
I'm trying to. Well,
Ocean's
everybody.
11
yeah,
maybe?
Ocean's 11
Yeah.
is like movie stars. That was
Yeah.
like the height of all of those guys being star power, and they
Yeah.
were young still. Except for Clooney, I guess. Clooney was probably in his 40s at that point.
Yeah.
How old is George Clooney? I don't even know.
I think he's late 50s or 60s,
Yeah.
60 something.
Something that sounds about right.
I think late 50s because my mom's always like George Clooney, and I'm like, you're still too old for him. So I think like 50s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe. I'm not gonna look it up because I do
right.
have. I got this Wine Country info locked and loaded, and I want to just
All
stare
right.
into this.
Okay.
Wine Country, a 2019 American comedy film produced and directed by Amy Poehler in her feature directorial debut. Stars along Maya Rudolph.
Oh, I didn't know she directed it. Oh my God. I was like, who directed this?
Amy Poehler directed it.
Oh my God.
Maya Rudolph, Rachel Dratch, Anna Gasteyer, Paula Pell, Emily Spivey, Jason Schwartzman, and Tina Fey. The plot follows a group of middle-aged women who go on a wine tasting tour in
Sounds
California.
awful as is.
Released for streaming on May 10th by Netflix. Oh no. This movie,
This is why I don't watch movies.
you watch this, what, so you had you heard anything about this movie before you decided to watch it? Because I remember you sent me a list, and this
Yeah.
is at the top of your list.
Well, okay.
Just of guessing.
I hadn't watched. Okay, no, I heard my boyfriend who like might be gay. I don't know. He was like, it was good. It was fine. So then I was like, okay, maybe I'll watch it. And I've seen the billboards everywhere. So I was like, I was also like trying to make out like who's in that? Like I couldn't. They make them look young. I thought like
Right.
I thought certain people like the girl from whatever, it doesn't matter. I thought people were in it that I'm like attracted to as females. I'm like, that's a hot female. I'll watch it. Maybe I'm gay too. I don't know. Maybe I'm just he's gay. I'm
Maybe
gay. I
you
don't
and your
know.
boyfriend are both gay. You're each other's beards. Are you willing to shave for this podcast? Shave each other's beards?
So he was like, it's not bad. It was a fine watch. So I started to watch it before you asked me, and then I turned it off within 25 minutes.
Okay.
And so then when you were asking me about movies, I was thinking of like the ones I really hated. And then I was like, oh, I should just finish Wine Country because I hated it.
It's a rough go.
It's really rough. It's the jokes and the delivery. The delivery is like everybody is the same. It's like these are character actors. Everybody's from SNL.
Right.
Yeah, even that one woman, I didn't know who she was.
Paula Pell?
Yeah.
Yeah, because she was on SNL as a writer.
Yes.
And she did a couple, because the writers will occasionally go in front of the camera also, but her main claim to fame was being on the writing staff for a number of years.
Well, clearly, because she didn't say anything the whole movie. It was just her face, just her just sitting there,
She had, the most she had was like she had a romance with the and Emily Spivey too, who's barely in it. Same deal. Emily Spivey's a writer.
That's what I'm thinking of.
You're
Emily
thinking of Emily Spivey, yeah.
The brunette. Yeah, she is like, doesn't say anything. And the other, what's her name?
Paula Pell.
Oh my God.
Our lesbian lover
lesbian
lady.
pedophile. Like, I don't, in what world? I just think, what?
There was a lot of this movie. I sat and watched it, and I remember hearing about it because everybody was freaking out because the headline everywhere was Tina Fey and Amy Poehler team up for movie for Amy Poehler's directorial debut.
Okay.
And I saw that, and I was like, oh, cool. Because I like Amy Poehler.
Yeah.
I like Tina Fey.
Tina Fey.
I like the actresses in this movie I liked. I watched most of them on SNL. Anna Gasteyer and oh god, well, she's the only other one who is on as an actress who was before my time,
right?
Because I started watching it with like my first introduction to SNL was like just after Will Ferrell was off the show. So it was like Jimmy Fallon, Horatio Sands,
right?
And then you have Tina Fey doing Weekend Update, and you know, Amy Poehler and Rachel Dratch, and that was like I remember watching like Debbie Downer live. You know, that's like the first SNL episode I ever watched was Hey Ya and I Like the Way You Move by Outkast were performed on the show. That
See,
was
I was a bit before. I was the Will Ferrell, but even still, like even thinking about watching SNL, I wouldn't even really watch it because I would just be out drinking in high school. You know? So I didn't really watch. My big thing was like Justin Timberlake, Dick in a Box.
Oh yeah, that's a classic.
Yeah, like I was at a party drunk, and then it came on, and I was like drunk and high, just laughing, and that's when I was like, "This is." So we'd have it in the background, but it wasn't like we sat around watching it.
We were. I was much lamer than you in high school.
Really?
Because I was a theater kid, and we also did
high school.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
And we did speech and debate. So I don't know. You're from Canada.
Yeah, I'm from Canada.
I don't know
so
if they
it's
have
different.
that in Canada.
No, and we don't have like to have like a big theater pro. There's I wasn't a theater kid.
Gotcha. So there's this thing you can do in the States called it's oral interp. And it's basically where the big overarching term for it is forensics or speech and debate. But what it is basically you have all these kids who are doing different events that are like humorous interpretation or dramatic interpretation or duo, where you get like a play or a book or a movie script or something, and you cut it down to 10 minutes and you perform it for 10 minutes and you're playing all the characters.
That's fun. I'd like to do that now.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of how I got interested in that was where a lot of my performing experience before I even got into stand-up came from. I did this thing called original oratory where I was writing speeches that were 10 minutes long.
Damn.
And I just put jokes in them.
Really?
Yeah.
Whoa.
But so what you have to do is you're dressing up in suits. You have to wear a suit, and then you go and you do these tournaments on Fridays and Saturdays.
No.
Yeah. So instead of going and doing like fun, cool high school shit, like going out and partying, we would be wearing suits and being 15 and going to different high schools and just doing these things, these performances, and trying to get trophies. And then we would be done at like 10 o'clock at night. So then we'd go back. One of the girls on our team had a home theater in her house. So we would go back to her house and we would watch SNL together.
Whoa.
And that's how I got into it. Very different lives.
Man, I kind of wish I did that. Like our theater program, I was in theater, like I did Shirley Valentine and I was the lead in the last year, and like it was not that we didn't wear suits. I wore my bra on stage for like all the parents, which is very weird.
That's
a
very
weird thing. I was being like, I'm method, I'll do what you got, whatever, I'll take risks. I'm such a good actor. And now I'm like, I was in my bra for my stepdad. That's fucking weird. I'm 18, 17.
That's very weird.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah. Ugh.
I was doing like sit-ups like for 2 weeks before. I'd never done sit-ups before.
See, I'm glad I didn't have to deal with any of that.
No,
I did.
You had a proper school.
I was in suits. I had long, floppy hair.
Wow.
It was a different life.
That's so nice. That's a nice...
I was wearing purple. It was my power color.
That was your power
That
color.
was my power color.
Purple suit?
Purple shirt and tie.
Oh, I was
Black
like...
suit. I'm not going that
purple
hardcore.
Suit and red hair. I just don't... I don't think that's a good look.
Wait, I don't have red hair.
I mean, in this light right now, you have red hair.
Nobody's ever told me I've been a redhead
I feel
before.
like you have a face of red hair, but you don't have full-on red hair. I think I've always thought you had red hair, even though I know you don't have red hair, but I could see you as a kid having red hair. Like
oh my God. I could be a kid with red hair, I guess.
Like, I don't have red hair. I'm like, no, but in my imagination, you do.
I know. One of my good friends growing up was a kid with red hair, and he had a fro. He would have had a red fro.
Really?
Sean Gahagan. I say his full name because he's dead, so I'm allowed to.
Oh my God, how'd he die?
Yeah, he overdosed.
On what?
Heroin, I think.
Wait, okay, so you go from like being in a suit on a Saturday to like hanging out with heroin addicts?
No, this was before I got into the suits.
What?
I used to have all kinds of weird parts of my life, Nikki. I don't know. We've never talked at length about.
We haven't.
Well,
I love a good talk.
We had a. We'll have to have a talk more off there about some of this other stuff. But I remember.
Know.
But that's okay. So back to we've gotten very off track. R.I.P. Sean. He. Oh my God, that kid was wild.
Can you just give me an age of when he did it? So then
when he died.
Yeah.
It was high school, so he probably would have been like 17. He'd moved away. He'd moved to Seattle.
Okay.
And I remember we had like sort of been in touch a little bit. I had weird kids in my neighborhood. I had a kid who tried to get me to build a bomb with him.
Wow.
Yeah, and then he got arrested for building that bomb.
Was he white?
Yeah.
See, white people are terrorists too.
White people are terrorists
Yeah.
too. There's that's the thing. So this movie, to tie it all back in.
Okay.
This movie reminds me, the women in this movie all remind me of basically like the audience for this movie. I feel like should be moms of the kids in my neighborhood,
right?
Who are all like growing up and they're all hanging out and drinking wine and raising these kids who are building pipe bombs and doing heroin.
Yeah.
And it's like, look, we get to watch a bunch of women our age have fun and have a good time, but then also it's got this weird level. Here's one of the things that I really hated about this movie.
Okay.
Is their scene in the fucking art gallery where they're like, millennials are terrible.
Oh my God. Everything about, like, okay, here's the thing. They touched upon all the not even millennial, because millennials, like even younger than millennials, I don't know what that generation is called.
The Zoomers. Generation Z.
Okay. They, like, the flossing, the selfie fresh face. I have a list of them that I was like, this is so annoying. They were just always like trying to make references to that. And I was like, just stop being lame women that are trying to make all these, like when she's like, oh, let's thread, feel better in thread. Or floss, whatever.
Floss.
I don't even know what
I
it
could
is.
see them calling it threading and getting it wrong. That seems like
see, that's funny.
That's probably funnier than saying flossing. Anytime there's so many parts in this movie that I watched and I was like, I've seen the work of some of these other of them before. You know, I've watched. Emily Spivey had a show that I really. I mean, she wrote for King of the Hill,
Wow.
and she wrote for SNL and Parks and Rec, and she wrote Up All Night, which I really enjoyed. And she's had a lot of experience writing good television. And Liz Kukowski, same deal. Liz Kukowski's had a lot of really good work.
Yeah.
She's acted in a lot of really great stuff, and she's written for stuff that I really enjoyed. But this, it's like it was too many cooks. Too many cooks spoiled this movie.
Yeah, and then I don't know if it was them or if it was like higher up execs, because I feel like that's how it works sometimes. That they were like, put all the trends in there, like hashtag things we say now.
Right.
Oh my God.
Their shirts had hashtags on the back.
Yeah.
That doesn't make
just
sense.
awful.
That's not something that a almost 50-year-old woman would do for her friend.
No.
It doesn't track.
It doesn't. It's true. And what was the other one? That and, I'll pinch your butt with consent. Like, okay, fine. Yeah, the consent thing is a huge thing right now, but like, that's not funny. Like, pinch their butt and like do it and then see what happens and then make a joke about that. But like, they were just trying too hard with all these like topical jokes.
It's like they didn't know who the audience for the movie wound up supposed to be.
Yeah.
And now that you mention it, I really do feel like that could have been something that came down in network notes.
Yeah,
from Netflix.
I think so. I bet,
because I trust that these women who have between them a combined probably at least a century or longer. Oh, actually, probably a couple centuries, probably a couple 100 years combined between them of comedy experience, that they could turn this in. That this is the product of what their movie is.
And I think that like the truth of it too, my mom is mid 60s, she's 64, and like these women are younger than her, but like these they are living in this world. Is that really how they treat it? Like my mom doesn't say hashtag, but she'll like cry if someone doesn't like her Facebook, or if like I don't post about her on Facebook, you know? So like take shit like that, like take actual things that these people are doing, what they're posting on Facebook, or like do things that the old people are actually doing,
right,
with all this kind of stuff, you know?
Yeah. I couldn't tell. There's so much of this movie. What were some of the things that because you stopped watching it the first time.
Yeah.
You stopped watching about 25. So is that right?
25.
That's time-wise, it's right around when they leave the restaurant and
Yes.
Anna
And
Gasteyer brings out the Molly,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
What was that? They never did the Molly.
They never did the Molly.
Take Molly out and never do
It's
it.
Chekhov's Molly.
Like
You got to do that.
you have to do it. And like, why are you judging her for like you should be doing it?
That is it's for all these, they all came up doing yes and stuff, right? And they even
Yes.
say, even in the movie, they break the trend. I guess that they probably in the movie all were in Chicago and had some sort of improv background, because Rachel Dratch says, I would normally yes and something like this.
Yes.
But it's like it almost,
What was the point?
it felt like that's like totally negating the reality of the movie. Yeah, of course. Then take the Molly,
Yeah.
and go crazy.
And some of you take it and some of you don't. Like, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
No one ever went crazy. That was the other thing, too. When they were supposed to be drunk at the I'm like, you guys aren't drunk at the restaurant. You guys are sober. And that's the other thing. Like, just hearing my mom's stories. And I know, like, when her and the neighbors get together, they'll smoke weed. They'll, like she told me a story of where they did like a ton of lemon drops, which is such a like older woman. You know what I mean?
Is.
But they like she got fucked
That's
up.
we're gonna be a woman going out having a good time.
Yeah.
No husbands, no boys, no men.
Just lemon drops and the bartender. And then they were like at the top of the hill and they were like, where are we? Like there was no adventure. It was just do the Molly.
Yeah, just do the Molly.
And what did they put it in there for later on when they said, oh, did you do Molly for that joke?
I guess.
You know I forget who it was, but someone was.
Oh, it
having
was
a hard-
about when she fucked Jason Schwartzman.
Yes.
And they just brought it up.
At the very end.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, did you? He was great though.
He was.
He made me LOL.
He was funny. A lot of the stuff that happened, the side characters were doing was funny. I laughed. Tina Fey, criminally underused in this movie, by the way.
Yeah.
She was funny.
Yeah, she was funny.
And when they were at the wineries, the biggest laugh out loud moment for me was when they were at, I think it was the first winery and their day tour, and they take the wine and they all just like down it and walk away, and the guy's like, all right, just go to a fucking wine store then.
Yeah.
And I was like, this, of course,
Those
that's
people,
great.
Yeah. And what else? The other problem for me, there were so many problems, but
Tell me about all these problems you have with
I have
this.
a list of problems.
Because you wrote a big list.
I have a big list.
And we got so sidetracked talking
I
about
know.
speech and debate.
Okay. Okay. I feel like we also kind of expected bridesmaids-ish type thing.
Yeah,
I don't
maybe.
know if I don't know. Okay. I first of all hated Maya Rudolph in it. I thought that like she was too basic. Her deliveries were horrible. You knew that she was saying a joke every time, and her character would laugh after every joke she said. She'd laugh at herself, but she didn't laugh at herself in like a snobby, like if she's going to laugh at herself, as I just felt like I did it right there, I'd be like somebody who's like, I'm so funny.
Right.
You know, but none of these women had characters. They were all the same. And I'm like, what is your character? Who are you?
Yeah.
Did Amy Poehler say, guys, just play it very straight, play it forward? Because it didn't work. It was just plain.
A thing. I was talking to some people about how I was going to do this episode with you yesterday. And I told them we were doing Wine Country, and they're like, you watch it? What's it like? And I was like, well, I mean, basically, the whole movie, the premise is they're all having a midlife crisis at the same time. And that's really it. Like they all there's that one point where Amy Poehler is basically like pointing out everybody's flaw.
Yeah,
that
but
they
you're
have.
not even that. Also, where's the wife that's cheating on her husband? Let's be real,
Right.
You know, or
That's the thing. It felt too safe.
yeah. And then they got in two fights, two
Mm-hmm.
friendship fights. We already went through one fight. Go through another fight. Oh, and Maya Rudolph might have cancer. Oh, shocker!
Right.
When I was watching it, my boyfriend watched it with me again, and I was like, when she was getting the phone call, I was like, please let it be that she might be pregnant. Please let it be that. Because that
would have been great.
Wouldn't that have been great if she's pregnant?
She already had 4 kids.
Yeah, at
have
that
a fifth
age.
one.
Yeah. Because if, like, I heard of a 48-year-old having a kid recently. So it's like, don't make it cancer.
Right.
What else? I wrote fast. Oh, I have new knees joke. I have new knees. Shut up. I also think she's a bit too young to have new knees. So she can do those cool jumps, which wasn't even funny.
Yeah. I was wondering if she was going to do some like superhero shit.
Yeah.
I thought that would have been fun.
Yeah, it would have been fun. Or if she broke them and they just popped it back in.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's also funny. I love popping things.
Popping things?
Pop things out on camera, break. I would love to see a joke in a comedy where somebody like dislocates their shoulder and they have to pop it back in to do some shit.
I feel like that's been done before.
It probably has.
Yeah, but I get what you're saying. Yeah, maybe. Dick jokes. Here's the thing. As a female comedian, everyone's like, don't do dick jokes. Male comedians don't do dick jokes. We get ragged on so much for like avoiding dick jokes, and this movie was just full of dick jokes. And I don't mind a dick joke. I'm not against them. I have some, but I just thought like this is what we're listening to middle-aged women just talk about dicks and make dick jokes. It's so oh my god, the vibrator part where she takes out the dildos and the vibrators.
Oh yeah,
and assigns them vibrators. Whoa, that's like the biggest risk.
But we're doing it in public.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, and her delivery, and then everyone's like, we're laughing so much. Like, turn them on, do something. Somebody get off in front of the camera. It's safe.
It's too safe.
I just have a lot of Maya Rudolph beef. Oh, who the fuck is Renee? Who's this?
Brene Brown?
Yeah, I don't know.
Brene
who it
Brown,
is.
she's a motivational speaker lady.
Okay, well, get Oprah.
Listen, Netflix can't. I guess they've spent all their money on David Letterman and Barack Obama. They can't.
Yeah,
you know what?
true.
Get Michelle Obama in there. They got a production deal.
Yes.
I know you just made a special with Brene Brown. You're promoting that, but get Michelle in there. Come on.
Oh my god. I'm saving one for the last, but like the dancing in the van, the dancing in the truck.
I was not a fan of any of that.
Oh my god. And the thing is, fine. Get up and dance. Show us what you can do. But they were going like this, shaking their shoulders.
Shaking their shoulders. A little
That's
shimmy.
all you're going to do? Shake your shoulders? Take the dance scene out.
And they weren't, for all the times that they were like singing along and doing stuff,
Amazon?
I don't know. I guess we'll find out.
There's a knock on the door.
I heard there was a knock on the door. We're going to figure out who that is in a sec.
I'm excited. Hello. It's them. You surprise me. They all come
excuse
in
me.
to
Hello.
shit talk me.
They have a. Oh God, sorry. There's so many singing moments that happen in this movie.
Oh,
where
can I get a-
thought that anytime, because they were like, we're gonna play our DUI songs. They don't actually really sing along. They're like lip syncing.
Yeah.
Just go if you're gonna lean that hard into like we're a bunch of gals. We like to sing together. Actually sing the songs.
Yeah.
Or something. Or you could have cut out like there were 7 of those, I think, in the movie, like 6 or 7. Cut out 4 of them.
Yes.
Do 3.
Yeah.
Do the fucking impactful ones.
Yeah. Yeah. What they just kept doing it. What's our first song gonna be? What's this like there's so much
Right.
stakes. And what was that other thing I just saw? When also listen, I love Maya, I forget her last name.
Rudolph?
No, Maya, who played the waitress, she has a show, Pen 15.
Oh,
The girl who
Maya Erskine.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think that she's awesome in Pen 15. I think she's great in other stuff, but in this movie, she made me cringe. And I was like, oh, same the delivery. Everybody's
Well, because
delivery.
she had to be the like shitty art millennial.
Yeah.
And that's not a good character. It's not a fun character to play.
No. And even just when she'd be like, hi guys, okay. But then, and I was like, because people have kind of talked shit on her performance, and I was like, yeah, they're right. It's pretty bad. But then when you watch everybody else's performance, they're pretty bad. So it's like the directing is just not good. It's just everybody saying dialogue and being basic.
It just felt this movie feels like such a missed opportunity.
Yeah.
It felt directionless. It felt like it doesn't. They're not even sure who they're supposed to be talking to.
Yeah.
They have all of these really talented comic actresses coming together, and it just does it. It feels flat. It doesn't. It feels too safe. Like, I want to see some risks being taken.
Yeah.
I want to see them take the Molly. I want to
Yeah.
see more stuff going. I want to see somebody getting. I want to see Amy Poehler and Jason Schwartzman.
I was just
fuck.
gonna say that. I want to see them fuck too. What would he do? He's such a weird character,
Right?
He would like definitely have like a seance before he fucks her. Like what? Why are we not doing that? Is it PG-13 or what? No, it must not be.
It might have been. They say fuck. Amy Poehler saying fuck is nice. I rarely get to see her say fucking anything, just because in my mind now she's so cemented as Leslie Knope.
Yeah.
But that's basically who she's playing in this movie too.
But she didn't play it,
Right.
right? Like that. I was thinking that I wrote something down. Like, yeah, okay, we get it. You're A-type, then act A-type. Don't put it in the dialogue. Show us that you're A-type. Like, she just kept being like, I just want it to be a good weekend. I just want it to be a good weekend.
I remember reading on an in-flight magazine something about this movie, and it was an interview with Amy Poehler and Maya Rudolph, and they were talking about making it. And Amy Poehler was saying stuff because she had to direct it too, so she had to do all of the stuff, logistics that a director would normally have to do. And so everybody else was off like having a good time, and Amy Poehler had to like work and couldn't have fun. I almost feel like if they had somebody else directing this instead of Amy Poehler, then the movie would have been a lot better, because then Amy Poehler probably could have.
She'd be having more fun.
Yeah, well, it just felt like she was. It felt like everybody was holding back.
Yeah.
But Amy Poehler is not somebody who I've ever seen hold back before.
Yeah.
So it's weird to watch this. It just didn't feel right.
No. Oh, it's a bore. It's like what you would think going with a bunch of people that were our parents to wine country.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I know that my mom would be more wild than that. So
yeah. Have you seen your mom get drunk before?
Yes.
So
unfortunately.
but you know what it's like.
Yeah, I know what it's like.
It's different.
It's way different.
Yeah.
She moves more than her shoulders.
Oh yeah.
And the heart to heart, the whole thing. I didn't mind. I like Jason Schwartzman's scene with I forget her name, the businesswoman who kept
Anna Gasteyer. Yeah.
You're good at this. You're hosting it. I'm like, I don't know who's who, but I'll tell you what they look like.
That's fine.
I thought that she had a good performance when she was with him, but no other time.
Let me ask you this, because we haven't even brought it up yet.
Okay.
What do you think of the tarot card scene?
Oh my God. I liked actually that actor. I thought that she was like...
She was good.
She was good. I thought that it was so stupid. You're telling us that they're going to get in a fight. It's so stupid. The only part that I liked about the tarot card scene is when they flash back and what's-her-face isn't there anymore.
Yeah.
I laughed at that. I thought the timing was good.
Mm-hmm.
But that was the stupidest... All this, if you really think of like most of the scenes, you're like, why is this scene happening?
Right.
What do you think of the tarot card scene?
I thought that the tarot card, the psychic, was the best part of it.
Yeah.
Everything else, I was like, okay. I mean, I see what you're going for.
Yeah.
It felt like they weren't. That was clearly, I think, comedically the biggest risk that they took was doing a scene where it's like, we're going to talk about death, but who knows?
Yeah.
We're going to talk about how shitty you guys' friendships are, but it's also like, okay, I get it. Like, it's supposed to be one of your big comedic set pieces before they fall down a fucking hill. You know?
Fucking hell.
It's like, this is one of your tentpole scenes.
Oh my God.
But it doesn't feel like it actually has weight.
No.
It felt it's so all over the place. This movie's really like, this movie's so disappointing.
It's so disappointing.
I wanted to like it.
Yeah.
I like everybody who's in it. I'm clearly not the target audience for this movie. I feel like you're closer to being the target audience.
I'm closer to the target
movie.
audience. Yeah. But that's what I know. I think that's what happened when I first started watching it before I chose it
Mm-hmm.
was because when I was watching it, I was like, do I just not get it? Like my boyfriend is like, it's fine. I'm like, I don't think this is fine.
Yeah, fine is not a good
Yeah.
thing. Was your boyfriend when he was like, yeah, it's fine. It's a fine watch.
Yeah, but here's the thing. The guy like does work as he's watching movies. So he's not actually watching the movie. And so I think that I forgot that. He like half watches it.
Uh-huh.
So when I started watching it for real, I just was like, this isn't funny. Maybe I'm not the target audience. Maybe I don't get it. However, I look and I'm like, these women are 10 years older than me, I think. No. What? How old are they? Are they like
They're
late
probably
40s?
all about the age that they are in the movie. Probably in their late 40s,
Late 40s.
early 50s.
Oh, okay. So they're not. But no, they're not, obviously. But I don't know. I guess I was like, I'm still a woman that I still go and do things with my girlfriends and like we have reunions. And, you know, some of my friends have kids and like some don't. I have a beef with one of my friends. We aren't friends anymore, but we all have to like go into the same world and stay in the same house together. Like there's things to be done. Like there's dynamics in friendships like that. It's just such a vague thing for them to fight. All their fights were so vague that it's everything about it.
Everything felt. I remember talking. Yeah, the perception of this movie is. Last night again, somebody was talking when I was talking about doing the show. They were like, "Oh, I heard that's supposed to be like The Hangover."
What?
And I watched it, obviously, and before then, and I was like, "Yeah, no, this isn't even." If this is what if people think this is going to be like The Hangover, but with a bunch of middle-aged women, they're in for a fucking surprise.
That's it. I think, and that's what I'm saying. When I started watching it, I guess I thought maybe it's like Bridesmaids, maybe it's like because you know. Bridesmaids had Maya Rudolph and maybe it was my ignorance. I don't know. But I was like, well, there's a bunch of girls going. I thought maybe Hangover Bridesmaids. Like there's going to be like something crazy that happens.
Is there anything you think could have been done to make this movie good?
Change the director, play some characters. I think that the story, I think that they were I think it was lazy. I think they have to think outside of the box more for like those dance scenes. Make it if all these women if one woman throws out her back and the other woman has fake knees like in the dance scene, then maybe get up on the bus and then, you know, if you're dancing wild on a bus, you fall, you hurt something, like use it there. Don't use it don't have the woman throw out her back. I don't know. I'm rambling now. Now I'm like getting very angry about it.
I was thinking while we were talking that a thing that might have actually made this movie better is if it was played not as a comedy. If they leaned into the drama and to the